Shalom.
Hello,
וכבר שנה טובה לכם.
and a happy new year to you.
ערב טוב לכם, כל
Good
הפעילים.
evening to all the activists,
שנה טובה לכולכם.
and happy new year to all of you.
אני כל כך שמח להיות פה.
I'm so happy to be here.
שום חצי דמוקרטיה, הכל בסדר.
Not half a democracy, everything is fine.
אני למדתי כבר
I stood before
שבשביל להשמיע דברים
and said that in order to voice
מהי האחריות ולא רק מהו
things, we need to know what is the responsibility and not just the decibels, not just the loud sound that is being heard. First, I want to wish
רפואה שלמה ללוחם
speedy recovery to the border police
בפעילות.
fighter who was wounded today in an activity in the West Bank. And dear guests,
הממלכתי
the National Union is a party that puts the interests of the state of Israel and its citizens before everything else.
והמדינה לצערי
And the state, to my regret,
נמצאת היום תחת סכנה
is now under a clear and immediate danger,
יציבות
and without stable and strong hands that needs to steer the wheel.
השר
The minister
משטרה
responsible over the police
מפרק את
is responsible for chaos. The foreign minister
הציבור
is working in PR instead of working for the government. For the
פוגע ושם
education minister is harming Yad Vashem for political reasons. The defense minister
העם
gives up on the
שר המשפטים
People's Army. The justice minister has declared a war on the Israeli democracy and the judicial. And
יקרים
particularly at this time, my dear friends,
ממשלה
there is no effective prime minister in the state of Israel, and each does as he wants.
מול כל אלו
Against all of these,
ביחד עם שותפים
and together with many other partners,
אנחנו מובילים
we lead an opposition that fights for the country and for its image,
יחד
fights in the street together with the important and inspiring protests that we're seeing everywhere around the country in the past 35 weeks.
יחד בכנסת
Together in the Knesset, and here's the time to thank you, our dear members of parliament, for your
בכל מקום
work at the committees and
יחד
at the
בשטח
General Assembly, together on the field with the protest movement, and with you, the activists,
במקום
operating everywhere with such determination. Thank you.
אבל חברים
But, my friends,
אנחנו
we
לא רק אופוזיציה
are not only in opposition,
אנחנו גם וקודם כל
we are also,
אלטרנטיבה
and first of foremost, an alternative.
אנחנו נמצאים
We are
באתגרים
at a time of great challenges
חמור
in the most serious security situation that we've faced since the Yom Kippur War,
מול כלכלה
against
משתנה
a changing world economy and
בית במדינת ישראל
high cost of living that touches every home in Israel, against an education system that is being
לקחת את החינוך
losing budgets.
אנחנו ניצבים
We are facing
איום על הדמוקרטיה של
a threat over our democracy and
הממשלה
against the government
מובלת
that is led
קיצוניים
by extremists
לא רוצים רק
that do
לתקן
not
או לעשות
just want to fix or to do a reform, but want a political control,
על מערכת
uncontrolled, over the judicial system, and not just on that, also over the media,
מוסדות החינוך
also over the educational institutes, also on the financial institutes, and the entire public system.
שסע
We are facing a divide that is hurting the Israeli strength that has always been the source of the strength of the State of Israel. Just like the Yom Kippur War, where the commanders in the field have won and saved the State of Israel at a very heavy price. Our duty is to stand against the efforts of the government, but also to provide an alternative and to do every effort in order to solve the fundamental problems while maintaining our principles. This is how we did it. And I tell you, this is how we will continue to do. My friends, it would not be a surprise to you or to anyone else. I do not trust Netanyahu, who does what's good for Netanyahu and only then what's right for the people, for the government. But leadership needs to put the national good at the fore. I wish to remind you and the public, our goal is not to reach a crisis, but to maintain democracy and prevent this crisis. My friends, this is not just my responsibility, but of every national leader. But to my regret, Netanyahu and his partners have decided to drag the State of Israel to the deepest crisis in its history. As you know, and as was advertised over the past several days, the President has addressed us, who is doing genuine efforts to prevent this great divide, and presented an outline. It was agreed with the Prime Minister. I told the President that I find it difficult to see the coalition supporting this outline, but it is our duty to try with responsibility and under the needed responsibility. And the outline as was presented is not our dream outline. We were willing to discuss it as a basis in order to stop the judicial overhaul. We were willing, out of understanding, that when we are in power, and we will be in power, we will lead a wide process. We will lead a wider process that will establish the rule of law and the rules of the game, the democratic rules of the game, under agreements. Therefore, we held consultations yesterday with friends from our party, and we discussed the plan in detail. Without getting into details, I would say that the first principle was that if we reach an agreement, which we didn't, first of all, they would fix the reasonableness law under principle law with a special majority, and only after that other changes will be made. To my regret, my friends, and as we estimated, while there is a lot to talk about, the reality has proven that there is no one to talk to at this time. the burners of the barns continue to burn the Israeli society from within, even when they know how heavy is the price, even when the house is on fire. I tell you, I do not know whether Netanyahu is the partner of the extremists with his interests, or is he taken, hijacked by them out of weakness? What is clear is that in Israel, a minority, an extreme minority government is controlling Israel. A minority, a government who does not represent the majority of the public, not even the majority of the public who elected it. A small minority has decided, an extremist minority has decided to break down the democratic values of the State of Israel, and this minority is bringing us closer to. And yesterday it was proven that the State of Israel was taken hostage by the hawks and not by the moderates. I call on the officials of the coalition to sound their voices. I tell the voters of the coalition, look where they're dragging you. This government is unable to run a country. This government is unable to run a country, and Netanyahu needs to send this government home. The State of Israel needs to go to elections that would help heal the Israeli society. Only yesterday, Netanyahu and the Likud denied their own proposal. And today, Netanyahu has another spin that I should come to speak to him. We at the National Unity will continue to manage ourselves with responsibility. We understand that the public does not want an ally of the extremists. And I say to you, if in the future the moderates in the coalition will prevail and we can prevent the destruction of democracy, we will be there. If there is a possibility, a proven and real possibility in the future, I repeat, a proven and real in the future to reach agreements that would maintain the democracy,